Hello, everyone, and welcome to What is Civilization? Started over, episode 13. It's in the last episode we have had the collapse of the Red Team, the collapse of the Star Alliance, more exploration around the world, new countries, the flipping of the Yellow Team government, and not the Yellow Team, the Lime Team government. And yeah, it was a pretty crazy episode. And now we're on episode 14 of What If Civilization Started Over, and we're going to be looking at the Red Team Peace Treaty. So, down in Africa, it ends up that their colony got split into two pieces, these two. And this island got divided between these two countries, and a couple countries this country got released. The Cream Team, I gave them back their historical land. The Blue Team got some historical land back too. The Red Team had to release this area up here, which is kind of bad for them, and then they had to release this, give some land to these guys, and the Green Team release these three countries, and the Pink Team gets land, and of course, these guys get land. Now, that's what happens last episode. Now, and in the peace treaty. Now, for the first event of today's episode, we are going to be looking at the exploration. The world has been getting more and more explored as of the past few episodes. It's more explored than I've ever seen it. And now, today, we're finally going to be having this be explored. For once, I have not gotten lazy. Yep, that's right. I am not lazy this time. I'm actually doing it properly. And Africa is almost wholly discovered, which will probably lead to a couple new nations this episode. And we're going to see what effects the Red Team collapse had on the world. Right? It was pretty major for some countries. Other countries were partying in the streets, like the Orange Team. Even though they weren't involved in the war, the Red Team collapsed where they had a coalition formed against them to help the rebels. They weren't in that coalition at all. They were actually a neutral country. Surprisingly enough, that they weren't. It's surprising enough that they weren't going like out and trying to fight the Red Team troops. And exploration continues into South Africa, with Madagascar being discovered and explored. So yeah, exploration around the world is kicking up, heating up, and now over here, this land is going to be all discovered. For the first time, all this land is going to get discovered. Now, this is huge for the world, as they've explored Siberia, and who's going to claim Siberia? That's something we'll have to see this episode. Now, over here in Oceania, some more expansion will happen over here. There's only one country over here, though a lot of countries are funding this exploration, mainly being the Japanese, funnily enough. The Japanese are working on trying to get better boats to sail around the world, as they want to sail the world and become this vast global empire. And meanwhile, this country is going to do something unexpected. They're going to divide up this land with their neighbor, and the division looks something like this. Pretty good for both sides. Yeah, they got a pretty good deal. All things being said, they both got good deals, and they both got islands along with their territory, so they're both happy. Now, this world is looking more and more filled in. At this point, some people are going to have an excellent exploration session in Australia, just having discovered it. They're like, wow. And over here in the red team, someone has a conspiracy theory. Australia isn't real. Yep, that's right. There's already non-Australia believers. Come on, Matt. It didn't even last. Not even the whole thing's explored yet, and it's already happening. Come on! Why? Come on, man. Seriously? We don't need non-Australia believers in this world. Come on, seriously? Anyway, the Australians are getting explored. The Australian lands are fully explored. Now Australia is explored. This area is explored. And New Zealand exploration is going really well. And that's when they've discovered everything down here. They've already discovered everything, and they don't know what to do. But it does get divided up into countries by island. The first island nation is going. The first island nation is going to be the Philippines. No, you don't get all that. Okay, I'm not spoiling the Philippines here. We're just gonna let the Philippines exist. Now, that looks good where the Philippines land. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna pause the video and show you what this world is going to look like more divided up with countries. And the result is going to be something like this. This is what this area looks like divided up into countries. And now a European has done something awesome. Specifically, a Belgian has done something awesome for the world. They have gone and discovered Iceland. And they have discovered Greenland. So they're making huge strides in exploration now. They're now making huge strides in exploring the world, and that's kind of great for them. That they now can just explore the entire world. Greenland is starting to get explored, except they don't find it desirable. And they sail. Now the Belgians sail around and they discover Quebec. That's right, and a guy named and this Belgian who discovered it was named Mark Mark is Mark Green. I'm just giving him a random name. I don't know if that's affiliated to somebody in real life, but who knows? But yeah, this guy has discovered a lot of land so far. And the Belgians decide to colonize it. That's right. Belgium is going to be the first major colonizer. Belgium, out of all nations. Belgium. That's a huge step for the Belgians. Their waffles. This is a huge step for the country with the waffles. They're immediately starting the age of colonization. Quickly, their Greenland colony is going to look pretty big. Now, yeah, they're colonizing all of these areas. Everywhere they find is being turned into a colony. And, yeah, now for them. Now, this is kind of huge. This happening is kind of huge already. To have the Americas be discovered. Now, something happens. Japan, on the other side of the world, is going to be doing something. It's going to be doing two things. it's going to be taking for itself a claim in Siberia. Yeah, that's right. It's claiming land in Siberia. Weird. And they find some islands all the way over here that they're just gonna claim. No use in calling them exploration color when they immediately just claim them. And they stop claiming areas after this. And they start saying, hey, we just discovered a new area, too. And it's very interesting that they both found new areas. So, yeah. The red team would have been feasting on this new land if they were around when this was discovered. But they weren't, so it's too late for them. If only they just, I don't know, didn't invade the gold team, then they would still be around. Or something else would have probably taken them out. They probably would have invaded someone else to take down their empire. That would have caused people to lose support for the empire. But whatever it is, the Red Empire was always full. And yeah, the Red Empire collapsed just before the age of colonization. So very unfortunate for the Red Team leader. He would have definitely been into colonizing. The Red leader would have sent ships down to Africa to colonize it or something. To continue their colonization. They actually had plans in Tanzania next. But something is going to happen in Africa. The rest of the African continent gets explored. All of Africa is explored, and some European powers meet to divide it up. Held in Iberia, this conference is held in Iberia. It is known as the Iberia. It is known as the Conference of Madrid, or whatever the city for Madrid is called in Wixo. So they managed to make their claim for what they want. Well, they actually colonized this before their little negotiation. Now we're going to get a new layer added here. And it's going to be each country's claims. Each country is going to have claims. Now I'm going to give each country claims in their color. So, like, for example, I'm going to move this layer 17 down. Yeah, this is everybody's claims from the conference. And right now, these guys have a claim. Anyway, first I'm going to get rid of the background. Now, we are going to see on this layer what these guys claim. They claim around like this much. Next episode, they're probably going to try and get their claims, and they even try to claim all this. Notice they try to claim over our African nations. Yeah, notice they're trying to claim nations in Africa. So that's what these guys' claims look like. Now, the Belgians, when they are invited to the conference, they say we want a lot of stuff. So they actually claim a lot in Africa. Now, this conference is happening. They ultimately claim. Oh, I colored it in on the civilization layer. They claim all of this land down here. Have an intercepting claim with these guys. something you can't fix, and then it goes back to their claim, and they claim basically all of this. So yeah, these guys, and they then claim a small colony down here in the pink team. They just claim part of the pink team. Yeah, hopefully for them, they get their way. Now, another country that is going to be invited to this conference, surprisingly, is not so super surprisingly, is the French. The French wanted to be invited so they could colonize North Africa. These guys surprisingly didn't take a North African colony, but that's because they knew that the French wouldn't go to the conference without it. So they take all of this. Now, the brown Italians have their turn to claim lands. The brown Italians are going to claim a lot of land actually. Brown Italy is going to claim all of this notable land, notably going up to here, and notably not including any territory on the orange team, because the orange team like a K. Now, the Italians actually are going to have to trade some claims. Ultimately, this claim doesn't work out, as the orange team also wanted to be invited to the conference. So, yeah, this claim is not going to work out for the brown team. This claim ultimately doesn't exist, and so does the French's, because the orange team has to have their turn to speak. The orange team, yeah, this is what their goal was, but they're not going to get all that, because the orange team comes in and is like, barges into the meeting, and they're like, hey, why didn't we get to discuss what we wanted in Africa? And they're like, we didn't know you wanted to call it that. Oh, makes sense. So, the orange team ultimately ends up with their ideas for what they want being all of this land down here. Yep, they want all of this. Huge amounts of land. Now for the Italians, they are going to at least be getting a lot of land themselves too. Yeah, I never expected this episode where the conference down here would happen so soon. I never imagined it would only happen in episode 14. I kind of sped up the pace too much. Now, these guys all claim that. So, yep. Now, the French. Where are the French going to get stuck with? They're going to get stuck with some countries that were once under the red team. So they're like, oh, okay. They don't get that. Their claims, they don't get that bad of claims, but they do get like all this their claim. So it's okay. It's a decent claim. They split the island in half, and they know they can't take this territory, but they all decide to split Africa like this. And now, who's going to be the unfortunate guy to get the center? Oh, this land. That's going to be decided. And ultimately, a new country is going to arrive at the conference. Ireland is going to arrive at the conference, and they kind of are left with the scraps of what the other countries didn't want. So they're left with all of the bad land that nobody cared about, but they're like, okay, that's fine. We don't want to set any other African powers. So yeah, they ultimately end up claiming this. So the first claim to be put into effect is going to be, let's head over to the this claim right here. We're going to be giving them, we're going to be going to the pencil. We're going to give them, all right, like this land, Southern Africa. Yeah, so they get all this land. Oh, where's the hole? I'm going to turn off this. Anyway, yeah, this is what the borders like. Oh, the Irish claims were drawn on the wrong layer. My bad. Let me just fix that. The Irish claims, I know what the Irish are getting. They're getting the leftovers. And surprisingly, these are all a bunch of new nations. So they are strong as a ton of people moved to them throughout the but it's been like probably like 15 years since the regime collapsed, and the power has kind of shifted more to Europe. And honestly, I gotta do a power rankings. Let me see how long this episode is. 21 minutes. Okay, so we have to get some stuff out of the way. Now, yeah, this is kind of going to take a little while because I did things wrong. I'm cheating in Madagascar. Let me just lower the size of the Madagascar brush. Yeah. Anyway, this is what Madagascar, what Spain is getting over here, and now later on in the series, we're going to be dealing. Soon, we're going to be dealing with the things. The invasions that these European powers are going to do. Well, now Africa seems interesting. Let me just look at this layer again. So the Irish now go into Africa. They have a plan. The Irish say, we are going to take all this land that no one wants. I just gotta check what land no one wants. I believe this. Oh, I gotta change the Irish color. Ooh. Okay, that's better. Okay, now I gotta change the color of Ireland. So, yeah, this is what Ireland now looks like. I had to shift the color of Ireland because this African nation had the exact same color as them, but don't need to worry. That's gonna be fixed. Now, this country, something's gonna happen. Troops march in. I'm gonna see if anybody else claims it. Nope, it's all theirs for the taking. Which is good for them. It's all theirs for the taking. So Ireland quickly sends troops to the border. They just go in and annex the country. You don't even have to send a military force to do it. They don't even send a military force. That's so strong. How weak they are. These guys are. No, I gotta fix this border. Yeah, now this is what the border looks like, so this should be good. Dang it. What if I tried this? Or is that color so similar? Okay, what if I change, like, darken this color a little? Yeah, I just gotta change this color. And I'm gonna go back to this color and... No! No! Bruh. I hate this. Yeah, scratch that. These guys failed their thing. Yeah, they failed on their mission. If only the French could come in. No, something happens over here, interesting, that this country kind of has spies in the conference. And they know, hey, why not we work together so that way our countries don't get annexed by the conferencers? And they're like, okay, great thinking. So they ultimately do something that every country in the world finds smart, but there's no reason for it to happen. That is they say it's just a union that is needed because of the economic state of both countries, but really, it's just to stop the colonizers from coming in. And yeah, the colonizers are a pain for them. Yeah, so those two countries unite to avoid the colonizers. Now, some countries are mad that they got left out of the conference. Now, anyway, looking at this layer, some countries that are going to get have their claim achieved, is going to be going on to the civilizations layer. The Italians go up to here and take out this. So yeah, pretty good so far for the Italians. Yeah, but this world is looking pretty nice. Everything. Now, something happens down here. The Italians send troops in and march fast into the country, and they ultimately just take the country, merging it with their colony, and then they take the country with that colony. Yeah, they just take the colony. It's brutal for them. And then the peace treaty that happens. Here we have the Italians expanding their colony. And now, looking at this, we see these guys are kind of a little upset that they expanded a bit beyond their borders. But then again, the Dutch are the Dutch, and they don't really care about this. So ultimately, what happens here is they just claim that the Spanish are not upset with it. But yeah, Africa is fully filled in. And in the next episode, we're going to see the invasions of Africa. That's going to be a fun thing to happen at the start of the episode. But now, in this episode, we're going to be seeing... Now, how long is the episode right now? Okay, it's 29 minutes. So this is going to be more exploration in the Americas. And actually, we're going to see... Uh, now, countries that are going to claim some lands are going over here. The purple team, surprisingly, out of every country in the world, the purple team is going to be landing in Australia after their the decline of the Red Empire, they knew the second the Red Team Empire invaded the Gold Team, they knew we need to sustain ourselves. Their solution to the problem is simple but effective. To do this, they're taking over parts of Australia to stop it. To stop things from happening to the Purple Team Empire, because people are going to be scared because they own more land. Now they're on maps. They're going to have to show all this land. Now, land is slowly going over to this country as well. And now these guys also land on Australia and take some land. They have a bigger landing than the Purple Team, but that's because the Purple Team only has this colony to say, hey, we're strong still. We're still strong. The Red Team collapse isn't weakening us. Now Japan sees this and is like, hey, we need to get into the ski fast. So Japan comes up here and quickly divides up the rest of Australia and New Zealand. They divide up two areas. So now this southern area, who is that gonna go to? Down here, the Spanish, the Iberians are going to claim the rest of it. Now having the divided Australia. And that's pretty good for this episode. Now I'm doing a lot of work this episode. Now I'm really not. This is just a map showing series, so it can't be that much work. Yeah, you're right. If you say that, you're right. It's not much work. I'm just saying a lot of things have been done by the countries this episode. Funnily enough, the countries are actually. I keep forgetting that this is a bunch of countries doing it, not instead of me doing this. Like, I just think what would naturally happen. Since Africa's been getting more and more explored, the European. I didn't end up doing my twist on the colony, not the colonizing of the world. My twist was going to be that I was going to put on it was going to be that Asia was the ones colonizing, but I mean, Asia has already been starting to do that. Like the Purple Team and Japan. I just wanted to have like Europeans be the secondary power instead of the first power. And yeah, this is what the world is looking like. There's not a lot of I think there's less nations than the last episode, maybe, possibly, most likely though. No, not super likely. And the orange team now does something, since they have to give up some territory to they don't take too much territory because they know the Russian green team would probably invade. The green team in Russia would probably be like, hey, dude, we want that land for this country. And yet the green team has now been blocked off, so they do something kind of shocking. Well, they go over to Greenland and say, hey, we're just going to be taking this. Thanks. Idiots. Yeah, they do all this in the north to say, hey, we are going to be a long-lived empire. And more of what's going to happen in this episode is going to be landing down in America. Landing down in, like, America, the USA. More people exploring the USA. So, yeah, people explore the USA. And, yeah, this is getting a little interesting. As a country decides to claim down here. It's going to be Ireland as a twist on our world. Ireland is going to be the one colonizing the Americas. Shockingly, Ireland's going to be colonizing the Americas, colonizing like America. Though this is not like America, this is just a small colony. And now the Belgium comes down and is like, hey, we are just going to take all of this. Anyway, that's going to be the exploration for today's episode. Now we're going to get to something that hasn't been done for a while. Going over to another layer, we're going over to power rankings. This is highly outdated. See here? Very outdated. It still has these guys as the #1 power in the world. Let me just go do something. Yeah, we got to erase this as now. Surprisingly, these guys are all. Oh no, the guys are taking over. What are they to do, Germany? No, that's not happening. As much as I want to see that happen. No, that's also not happening. That's even worse. Now going to the power rankings layer, we are going to see the no. What am I doing? Erasing? What if civilization got erased? Ooh, that would be a good prequel. What if civilization got erased? So have you found it? Not yet, Nigel. Sir, have you found it? Not yet, you idiot. Something like that would be funny. Seeing what if civilization didn't start over. Or what if civilization didn't so. Oh, I accidentally clicked on the military alliance layer. RIP Star Alliance. Now we are going to be seeing power rankings. Oh, come on, man. These guys gotta have their rankings erased because this has gotta change a lot. Now you may be wondering who the #1 country in the world is. At this point, it would go to the gold, not the live, the orange team. #2. #2 is a not so hard choice. It goes to the purple team. After not so much hard work and deliberation, after some deliberation, I decided that they'd probably fit the role of #2 best. Now #3. #3 is going to go over to these guys. #4 is going to go to this country. Surprisingly, these guys have just popped up out of nowhere. I don't know how they got this strong, but they just did. Now #5 is these guys. Surprise, surprise. Though they have gotten weaker. That's kind of just because they have not been focusing too much on military, and instead, it's like getting a sense of nationality into the public instead of focusing on their military funding. Though they have focused on it a little, giving them the #5 spot. Now #6 is going to be a country that you wouldn't expect to be at the #6 spot. Is these guys. Yeah, these guys are #6 now. Now #7 goes to the Pink Indians. Now #8 is going to go to these guys. Honestly, I feel like the power has swung over to Korea at #8, or or I'd probably give it to Italy with Korea at #9. These guys at 10. These guys at 11. Now, Ireland is the 12th strongest country in the world because of their empire. Now, 12 goes to them. 13. 13 is going to be a not so easy choice, but 13 is going to go to these guys. As I was saying, 13 goes to these guys. Now, 14 is going to go to these guys. And these guys are extended out a lot. Now, number 15 goes to these guys. They're not super strong, but they are strong. They're okay strength. Honestly, no, that would go to these guys. 16 goes to these guys. Now, 17, the 17th strongest country in the world would probably be these guys. Actually, no, I feel like this would be 17A. And going down a little, you'd have 17B. Yeah, that's right. They're both kind of like the same power. Now, 18 is going to be these guys. Surprisingly, they just got founded, but they have a strong leader. 19 is these guys. They are very terrified. And 20 is going to be these guys. That is our updated top 20 of the world. This episode looks very different from episode 12. Just look at it. The world doesn't look super different, but it is different. You can tell that this is, though it is the same world with the same countries and the same superpower, with the same like strong countries besides the like red team, but everyone else it's kind of like stayed the same. Maybe like the purple team has grown a little. Now we are going to be seeing the military alliances layer just to take a look at the alliances. And these guys are going to align temporarily. But yeah, this is just your updated look at the alliances. Now, something is going to happen between a certain two countries. The Russians and the Orange team are having a fallout, and this results in the Russians leaving the alliance as these two kind of don't like each other. And the purple team kind of establishes a new block as well. That is different from the star block. They kind of purposefully try to avoid being remembered for the Star Alliance, as they don't want this Star Alliance to go down in history. So instead, they say, no, we're not going to be remembered for that country that kind of aimlessly followed the Red Team's order. So these guys and a couple other new countries are joining this order to say, hey, we are anti-Red Team. Basically, this is an order that says we are tired of empires around the world taking advantage of us. And surprisingly, another country that joins this is going to be these guys. They're tired of imperialism around their borders. And yeah, that's it. Anyway, we're going to look at a layer that we haven't looked at in a long time. The economic alliances. The economic alliances are very out of date. Like, for example, the Triangle Alliance doesn't exist. Oh, as I was saying, the Triangle Alliance doesn't exist because they literally can't exist. And the Pink Team is still in alliance with all these guys. Oh, and yeah, this is very outdated. I didn't update the economic alliances. And one thing I forgot to do as well is show the new economic alliance over here. So these new nations are having help getting their economies set up, and what countries actually join this. These guys, this goal is to kind of just like break away from the old red order. Now something is going to be happening between the countries in Europe. An economic alliance is forming between these guys. The Greeks, these guys. This is the new economic pact in Europe. And in this area, we see these guys joining the Heart Economic Alliance. These guys joining onto an economic alliance as well. These guys joining, and these guys joining, officially making it the Indian Economic Alliance. And yeah, anyway, I'll see y'all in the next episode. I've had a lot of fun recording this one. Yeah, it's been super fun seeing all these countries expand. In the colonial era beginning with the start of the era being the discovery of Iceland. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye. Goodbye there.